that, we're on episode number 66. It's my pick this week. I'm trying to bounce back from the disaster, which was Pig, episode 62. Go back to beentherewatchthat.com, check that review out.
Don't watch the movie. Sorry.
This better be a big bounce. That's all I'm saying.
Get your mop buckets ready. We have the first ever foreign language film to win Best Picture at the Oscars. And I'm looking forward to Joe attempting to read the casting call on this one.
Yeah, I was getting ready to just let you have it with both barrels on this, making me do the casting call.
South Korean film from 2019, Parasite.
Yeah, get your mop buckets ready to clean up this mess.
Yeah.
So, Parasite.
I texted you guys. I can't remember what it was, but at the time I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah, you said, I've done a lot of reading for...
yeah.
I've got the text.
This is the most reading for a movie or something. I
Yeah.
can't remember what it was.
Yeah, hold on. I'll pull it up here.
Yep, I forced the guys to read subtitles this week.
Yeah, okay.
I gave them an out, by the way.
Yeah, because I asked you guys when we was going to do the show this week, or if we was doing the show this week, and Dave came back. I hope so. I read a lot of movie.
There you go. Yeah. I read a lot of movie. I thought it was pretty clever at the time. I was
Yeah.
like, ha, ha, ha. Get some of that, boys.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that kind of scared me, and I was going, oh, yeah, because I remember Justin saying it was a foreign film, and I'm going, oh, boy. Then I seen the runtime, and I'm going, oh, now that joke of Dave's is not funny at all.
Yeah, I will say I thought it ran a little long, but we can get into some other things of what you guys may have liked or didn't like about it.
So for the roll call and the casting call and the rundown, Parasite is a 2019 South Korean dark comedy thriller film directed by Bong Joon-ho, who co-wrote the screenplay with Han Jin-won and co-produced the film.
Yeah.
Now here's for the casting call, and I'm just going to be up front right now.
Oh, good luck with this, Joe.
Yeah.
Hold on. Do we even need to do this? Because here's what I'm going to say. A, I doubt anybody would recognize any of these characters. And B, do we really have to sit through the butchering of us trying to say these names?
Well, I just went with the main people that we see mostly on the screen.
All right, yeah. Go ahead then.
With full disclaimer, I have a West Virginia education. So,
Woo!
yeah.
And a hillbilly accent. Here we go.
Yeah, so take that into consideration. I'm going to apologize to these actors and actresses for the hard work that they do. And
You
for
might
me
nail
to sit
it.
here
You
and
might get
butcher.
everyone exactly right.
I hope so. The first character is Song Kang-ho. It plays Kai or Ki Take. And they're known for The Host and Snowpiercer. Lee Sun-kyun plays Dong Ik, and they're known for A Hard Day. Cho Yi-jung plays Young Kiao, and they're known for The Servant and Obsessed. Choi Woo-sik plays Ki Woo, they're known for Set Me Free. Park So-dam plays Ki Young, and they're known for The Priest. Lee Jong-yoon plays Moon Gwang, they're known for Mother. Jang Hai-jin plays Chung Suk, they're known for The Marine Boy. And Jung Ji-so plays Da Hai, and they're known for The Tiger. And Jung Hyung-jun plays Da Song, and he's known for Beyond Evil.
The song, that's a little kid, right?
Yeah, that's the only name I remember out of the whole list.
The little boy that
Yeah.
saw the ghost.
Yeah, and that is your casting call.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, that may not be right, but boy, I did it confidently.
Good job, Joe.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, hey.
Good job.
Better than I could do, for sure. All right.
So this is a doozy.
So,
Yeah.
so Justin, I have to ask.
Yeah.
I know what makes this interesting is we each have our means of picking movies.
Yeah.
And Dave and I, we just can't figure out how you pick your movies.
Mm-hmm.
So how did this movie even show up on your radar?
Oh, it's been on my radar for probably a year.
Really?
Something
No way.
Of something that I was interested in seeing just because obviously the accolade that it received, and then just general whisperings through the grapevine I heard from other people saying it was good, but yeah.
So our foreign, is it because it's a foreign film that piqued your interest? I don't, I know you haven't picked a lot of your pickings. You haven't picked like a lot of like foreign films or anything like that, so I don't
Mhm.
see that being in your radar. Is it because it's a foreign film, or just because the accolades? What steered you towards
Just
this?
that it won Best Picture that piqued my interest,
Okay.
and I just never got around to watching it
Okay.
when that first happened in 2020, I guess.
I gotta think it won its accolades just because of the concept.
Yes.
And yeah, maybe the cinematography, I guess, pretty artsy looking.
Yeah,
Film.
I mean maybe a lot of it was CGI stuff.
Yeah, the
But-
whole second story of the house was not real. It was CGI'd in.
Really?
Like when there's
Yeah,
a outside shot from the lawn up into the whole house, only half of that house is real. Can't tell at all though.
No. No.
And then yeah, the inside of the house, I think that was like a set that they built.
Yeah, I did see where that part was a set, but
And then they have that creepy basement. Wow, I didn't quite see that one coming.
no, that was gotcha. Was just literally came out of nowhere.
I thought at times maybe they pushed the envelope a little bit on believability of some of this stuff. It was a little over the top in some places, I thought.
Could you name one?
Um,
Just first one pops in your head.
I mean, the guy living in the basement was pretty crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't understand that because he could come and go. They knew that the parents went to work, kids went to school. Why did he need to stay closed up down there?
I
That-
guess the alternative was to live in society. And
Well, but I mean, he could have went outside. They showed him a little bit going outside in the sun and stuff during the day, here and there. But I mean, really, he could have left during the day and done whatever, and then just
When-
came. As long as he's back before they got home from work.
well,
and,
No,
people were
security
looking
cameras.
for him. The debt collectors were like,
oh yeah,
look at
and the
the-
security cameras. I guess you're right.
Yeah. So between the debt collectors and the security cameras.
Okay.
oh, and like the flood scene where their little basement apartment gets like ridiculously flooded. I thought they really poured it on thick with
Yeah.
the degree to which they got flooded. You know,
Well,
it was like up to their chest in
Well,
water.
I kind of believe that because they was at a lower level, like they was below street level, so it was ankle deep on the streets. So.
Yeah, that could happen. I think.
But
That's
one
crazy.
thing I thought was kind of dumb was the dad was yelling, "Close the window, buddy." Living in West Virginia, I've seen enough floods over the years to know, regardless of that window's shut or not, that water's coming in. If it's ankle deep on the street level and you're below street level, I'm sorry, when your whole house is surrounded, it's coming in, regardless of that one window was open or closed.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept across the board.
Yes.
There's a couple. What's the most poignant scene for you all? I have a couple.
I think when the dad finally like snaps, he's wearing the Native American headdress, and you can see like the rage coming over him and the total like shift in character for him. That he was going along and pretending for a while,
Mhm.
but then slowly the little digs that the rich guy was putting out there, finally like caused him to snap. I was like,
Yeah.
something's happening here.
Yeah, when we was watching that scene, it goes, he's gonna snap, but man, we didn't expect him to snap the way it did.
Yeah. Crazy. I was really impacted by when the kids smelled them. It's like they smelled the same.
Yeah.
Oh, that is
was
a good one.
That was a good detail. Yeah.
And I was like, what a great part to put
'Cause
in a film.
he's
'Cause
just
who
a
would
little-
have ever thought of that?
Yeah.
He's a little kid, so everyone's just kind of like, okay, he's weird, and he ran off. But he was actually calling or
Mhm.
exposing them. Because to set the stage a little bit, there's a family of 4, and they're like total scumbags, basically, into like the idea of conning this rich family by the son goes first, he gets a job as a tutor, and then he's like, oh, I can recommend an art tutor, which is his sister, and they pretend they don't know each other.
Yeah.
Oh, you need a driver to drive you around. I know a guy.
Well, they set up the driver. The daughter set up the driver by
Mhm.
taking off her underwear and stuffing him in the car.
So basically, the son is getting his sister, and then his dad, and then his mother, all into this very wealthy family's house, and pretending that they don't know each other. But then,
And how is the mom that naive? That's the one part. That's the one beef I have
Yeah.
with this film.
yeah,
How is she
Okay.
that naive? I mean, there's naive people out there, but
that
come
one
on now.
pushed the believability.
The
for me,
husband
too.
would have, who was a very successful businessman and stuff, would have not just said, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah, like if someone came to do some work on your house, and then they recommended someone, and you're, oh yeah, sure, and then they recommended somebody else. Like you keep bringing all these people into your house and just taking basically a stranger's word for it. Like, and she thought she was doing like a better thing. She's like, I just need someone I can trust.
Yeah.
So I'll trust your recommendation, person that I have known for one day. But yeah, maybe she just totally couldn't imagine that they were pulling this scheme on her.
I guess, and it happens, but
So,
Well,
okay.
that's set up real early though. The college student says like, well, the wife is kind of simple.
she's a knucklehead. Yeah.
Knucklehead.
So my poignant scene then, Justin, I have a question for you,
Yeah.
sir, off your previous statement.
Yeah.
My poignant scene is when the old maid comes back and we find out that her husband's in the basement. That completely changed the whole storyline for me. It's like, you feel sorry for the maid, and then you realize she's just as grimy as the family that's there now because she's doing the exact same thing. So to go back to your previous statement, Justin, you said this was a. How did you describe the family?
Oh, kind of scumbags. A
Okay.
Little bit. Yeah.
Based on their society, because it's they live in a class system over there, where you're basically where you're at and you can't work your way up or down. You can work your way down, but you can't work your way up. Are they a scumbag family, or are they a family trying to make ends meet by any means necessary with some scumbag decisions?
Lovable scumbags, I will say. I thought
Okay.
I was entertained by them, and I wouldn't necessarily condone their actions, but they were kind of lovable in a way that they weren't ashamed necessarily to do whatever they had to be done. They were kind of just like one point the father was like real proud of his son. He's like, nice, you made up all these fake documents. Like, this is a good scam. We're gonna get them.
Well, and he said his daughter would be an excellent forger if she chose that route.
Like no embarrassment about like, oh, it's not a honorable profession. He's like, oh wow, this is a great skill. You could forge so many documents. So maybe not total scumbags,
but questionable means to because they're kind of they're in that hard situations, like because we see at the beginning like they're literally folding pizza boxes to make money
for a job.
Yeah. And so are they really scumbags, or are they just willing to do whatever it takes to
con the pizza box person too?
Yeah. And I've got an interesting thing I've seen comparing the pizza boxes, but I don't want to jump to the end of the film yet.
Gotcha.
That just here now, I just realized at one point he's with the rich businessman, head of the household. The father is driving him around in the car, and they're talking about the maid who just got fired.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, she was a great maid and all this, and then he's like, one thing though, she always ate a lot. It's like she ate for two. He like kind of mentions that. I didn't realize it when I was watching, but now I'm like, oh, that was
nice. I did not catch that.
She was slipping food for her husband. That's why she ate so much, quote unquote.
Yeah. That's an awesome catch.
That's just one of those little details that they throw in, but you don't think anything of it when you're watching it.
Okay, so what did you guys think about when we realized that those lights don't come automatically, that it was the guy in the basement turning them on when they walk up the stairs?
Yeah, that was kind of crazy.
Yeah, and I don't understand that.
Yeah, why would there be switches down there for those lights? And then the Morse code at the very end. Out there too.
Yeah.
Now I did see this, and I didn't go back to rewatch it, but IMDb says that at around the 1 hour 18-minute mark, when the wife and kids of the Park family were walking up the stairs, they came home from their camping trip. The staircase lights did not light up, as June C was tied up in the basement at that time. So I didn't catch that.
I just think it's such a weird deal with the lights like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, some little things here and there. I think they pushed a little bit, maybe artistic license, that they're trying to have some sort of message or do some things, and maybe made it not totally realistic, but maybe it wasn't meant to be realistic. It's supposed to be kind of an art piece. I don't know.
Now I know this won big accolades, but I don't get that.
Really?
I mean, it's all right, but
Yeah, people.
I mean, what was this?
The critics were head over heels for this one.
Yeah, Best Picture winner, 2019.
Yeah, be interested what else it went up against. Rotten Tomatoes, 99% for the critics, 90% audience. I mean, crazy. Crazy high numbers.
Yeah, because Cena was reading me those numbers beforehand, and I said, time out before we even started. I said, time out. I said, Rotten Tomatoes killed all of its credibility when it rated Pig so high. I said, so don't even go there. She goes, oh.
I actually laughed a couple times just I guess the black comedy. It's not meant to be a comedy, but some of the
the dark humor to it. Yeah.
Well, I just
situations.
Some of it, like when you're in the living room on the camping trip and it's raining.
And they're under the table, or?
Well, no, just in general, where they're just sitting there drinking and making a mess of the place and blah blah blah, and then I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. They went camping. It's thunderstorming and raining. You gotta know they're gonna come back.
Yeah.
A rich family that doesn't do that sort of thing is not gonna sit out in the rain.
Yeah. See, I didn't catch that they was camping. I thought like they was upstairs asleep.
Well,
So
no, they packed up camping
actually,
gear and
they were sitting there drinking and nothing was happening until the girl said something and then the lightning flashed. So it wasn't raining until they were already pretty.
Yeah, but I just mean,
but still,
camping weekend. If you're going to risk
I know.
messing up a house and everybody hanging out and enjoying the luxurious life, check the weather.
Yeah.
What could possibly make them come back early?
That seemed like a pretty dumb move to just be sitting out in the open in the living room like that.
Well,
and then the whole
anything could happen. They could just decide, we don't want to go camping and come back.
Yeah, but they would have. But think about it, guys. If they wouldn't let the maid in, they would have had plenty of time to get out of there when.
And why would you let the maid
called.
in?
Yeah,
That's
old maid.
Dumb.
Yeah, yeah. Because think about it. They would when the family would have called and said, "Hey, we're on our way home. We're 10 minutes out or 8 minutes out." That would have gave them more than enough time to get out of there. But what they do, they open the door and let the old maid in.
I think it did set up for some pretty tense moments, like the whole sequence of them trying to not be discovered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it kind of has that
little thriller piece to it. Yeah.
Type deal, like a Ocean's 11 type thing almost to try to hide.
Okay, thank you. Because I thought the same thing. Like, this movie had touches of Ocean's 11, not to the extreme of taking millions of dollars. But it's like, I could see little hints of it.
Where you hide just in time as someone's coming around the corner and all that.
Yeah, and always just trying to be one step ahead of
I
everybody.
Yeah.
Just some of that I didn't buy. I mean,
yeah.
They're laying on the couch and they don't hear 3 people breathing under a table 2 feet away.
That's
Or
weird.
any movements or anything like that.
That was weird.
Yeah, and they can smell them and they're like, what's that weird smell? Oh, by the way, I'm not going to glance under the table right in front of me.
Well, and the dog looking underneath the bed.
Yeah, dog looking underneath the bed.
Yeah,
the girl
now
doesn't
because
check.
I almost bought into the living room scene, but when the girl didn't look underneath the bed with the dog, I thought,
Yeah, I think right as she was about to, her mom said something or was coming up the stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those things.
Either way.
Yeah.
The whole thing's
Yeah,
crazy. I mean, why
They pushed the believability a lot.
Yeah, you have a big house. So your idea to hide is to slide under the living room table.
well, where else was you going to go?
Go around the corner because there's only the guy coming. You could slip around the corner because it had a circle that you could run around. The kid was running around.
Yeah, but you didn't know he was by himself, though.
That's true. I don't know. Hiding under the table like that, there's no way you can get away with that.
Yeah.
You take up too much space, Joe. I played hide and seek.
Pretty crazy.
Anyway.
Pretty crazy.
Justin. What are you thinking?
Well,
No, I don't know. I mean, so on the other end of this, what a concept. And this was supposed to be a play originally.
Really?
Yeah, and it turned into a movie, and, the whole idea was based off of some of his personal experience. He was a tutor for a rich family, the director at one point, and he just thought, what if he decided to take advantage of them? And so it was his brainchild. But, what a fantastic idea, because I kept, and I'll be honest, I forgot. Justin told us what the movie was about originally.
Yeah.
And I forgot. And when I got home, and I was like, watch Parasite here. I was thinking it was like a alien Parasite or something like that. And I was like, wait a minute. No, that's right. This is a family taking advantage. But that kind of Parasite. So,
Yeah.
whole metaphorical deal.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I mean, wow. This happens all the time. People scam people and, stuff like that. This is the long, long game. And I wonder how long they're going to get away with it. And I would like to know really what they did with their money. I mean, all four of them were making good money, and they still lived in that crappy apartment. They didn't try to upgrade. They didn't try to get away. If you smell bad and the kid recognized your smell and they knew they had to do something about it, change your housing immediately.
Right.
How hard could that be with all four of them making good money?
Yeah, I agree.
But again, I think I'm chalking that up to American society versus Korean society. Like, if all four of them would have upgraded to like an above ground apartment, would that have possibly thrown up some red flags?
To who, though? I mean, gosh, they were living in the slums anyway. And their life would have, what did they do with their money? That's what I don't understand. There wasn't any answer for that in the movie, which there doesn't have to be.
Right.
But, I was just thinking.
But it stirs up good conversation like this.
Yeah, they didn't buy like a car. Or, their one college friend had a scooter. They were still hoofing it and, riding the buses or whatever.
Yeah.
I just kind of chalked it up to they were so far behind in debt that
maybe
they was using it to work their ways out of debt, because at the beginning they was stealing Wi-Fi signal just to communicate with the outside world. Now they at least have cell phones at work.
Yeah.
At one point, the former maid and her husband they basically locked him down in the basement, tied him up and locked him down in there, and then the son gets it in his head that he's going to take this big rock and go kill him, and then he drops the rock, and then the other guy grabs the rock and hits him in the head with it. Man, I thought, like, okay, that kid is definitely dead. Like, that was crazy that he survived that.
Yeah.
That, like, shot of the guy hit him in the head with a rock. Like,
twice.
Yeah.
Because we don't see the first blow, but we know that it was a bad blow. Then the second time, I know the second time it just grazed his head, but still.
At the end of the movie, when he was just laughing about everything in the hospital, did you think that he was brain damaged?
Had to have been.
I kind of chalked it up to anesthesia or something, or they said he'd come out of brain surgery, he could come out of it being kind of loopy.
I thought it might have been a little bit of both.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it turns out he was okay, but so jump to the end.
Okay.
What holy cow.
Yeah. So at the end of the movie, the old maid's husband makes his way out of the basement and attempts to kill the son with a rock, and then goes outside, and all chaos ensues, and there's people cutting people and stabbing people right and left. This was a very interesting take. Ki Woo's job at the at-home tutor was... Oh, no, wait a minute. I wrote on the wrong line there. Sorry. So, at about 4 minutes at the beginning of the movie, following the scene at the Kim's folding pizza boxes, the CEO tells them that 1 out of 4 are rejected, followed by a long shot of the family. 1 out of 4 of the family members end up rejected in the end. I was like, ooh, that's good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because the daughter dies?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of little Easter eggs in there.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, that, I don't know if that was intentional or somebody just kind of picked that up and was like, ooh, I'll run with that. Either way, that's awesome.
Yeah. Neat little tidbit.
Well, or rejected as in the dad staying and had to live in the basement afterward. He was rejected. Because I first thought the daughter, and I thought, well, then maybe it might be the dad is rejected, because either way, either situation that works, and it's like, that's good.
Yeah.
Did the subtitles bother you guys at all?
No.
I thought it might, but it didn't.
A little bit, because of my short attention span. But in the long run, the movie was interesting enough that the subtitles didn't bother me so bad. I was still able to keep up with the story. So that was one thing because at the beginning there's a lot of there's a lot of talking at the beginning, especially at the beginning. And I'm starting to think I'm not gonna be able to watch the movie because I'm gonna be too busy trying to focus and concentrate on reading subtitles. But surprisingly, on my end, I was able to keep up.
Yeah.
What was the deal with the mom throwing the hammer thing out across the wall and into the neighborhood?
tomahawk or hammer thing. I don't know.
The weight on the end of the chain or cable that she spun in throughout the backyard.
I don't know.
I forget that part.
Anyway, weird.
Was it a chain that was attached to the kid's neck? Or
No. It was like a hammer and ball throw, like an Olympic event. I just thought the mom was showing off where she used to be an athlete or something.
Yeah,
we
'cause
didn't
when-
catch
The
it.
family was hanging out in the yard with the 4 dogs before they got drunk. They were just enjoying the yard. Anyway, you guys didn't watch it. Fired. Gosh, guys. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. Weird concept, and I was
Yeah.
constantly amazed you had this poor family that was enjoying the serenity of a fancy house that they could never, ever afford. You know, and what got me was at the end of the movie, I was just like, you had to go and screw it up.
Yeah.
You got too greedy. You know,
Yeah.
just do your damn job.
Yeah.
Getting the karma kind of came back on him. Getting the we should mention the peach fuzz thing. That was pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
The house, you couldn't have peaches in the house because the maid was violently allergic to
Yeah.
them. So they went and like scraped the peach fuzz off of
Yeah.
peaches and then put it in a little vial, and when they'd go past her, like sprinkle it. And
Yeah.
then made up a whole thing where they saw her at the hospital, tested positive for TB, so that got the maid fired. So karma like that, little tricks like that came back to bite them later.
Yeah, it literally went full circle. They
But-
went.
Could have been avoided by not letting her in the freaking house.
Yeah. Yeah. So in my mind, I'm sitting there posing the question. Okay, let's go down the path where she didn't. The old maid didn't make it back into the house.
Mhm.
Well, what would have happened? I mean, we know what would have happened to the husband, but would a smell finally would have given it away, or
He was down a long ways.
Right.
I mean, that was a big passageway to get down to where he was.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Would it just went away with no?
You know, what I don't understand is why didn't he sneak up and get food? She ran down to give him water and, oh, here, eat this, like
Well,
he
yeah, he
couldn't
did.
get out.
He did.
Oh, the thing was jammed. Never
Yeah,
mind. Yeah, it
yeah.
was jammed.
Yeah. It
Because in
had.
the past he had, and then the kid saw him. one
Yeah,
time.
isn't that crazy? Did you guys see that coming?
Yeah. No.
It was hinted at. They're like, what happened to the
What
this kid?
traumatic event, yeah.
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 And
Yeah.
we
they-
don't know for like almost
forever.
an hour until later.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's hinted. It's kind of sprinkled throughout, but you just don't know until.
Mm-hmm.
The kid jumped up out of bed late at night to go eat some cake, and then he's down there, and the old man kind of pops his head up out of the basement, and he sees him and freaks out.
And I have to say, the way they shot that, the way he just
Mhm.
picks his head up, that you couldn't get any more creepier than that. I mean, you could have had Freddy Krueger behind you, and it still wouldn't have been as creepy.
But what's confusing is, wouldn't he see the light of the refrigerator and hear the kid sitting there eating? But yet he
Maybe that's
Picks
why he
it.
was creeping up slowly to see who
yeah,
was there.
I mean, I guess, but wow.
Yeah.
Weird deal.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Yeah.
And how did they not know it? Well, I guess that they said it was in a secret, and that the founder never shared it before he died. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, but how did they stumble upon it? Those is what I'd like to know.
She knew because she was original made for the original guy,
Okay, makes
so
sense.
she
then.
kept it her secret.
Okay,
Kind of wild.
yeah,
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect with this one, but I think, yeah. I was pleased with it.
A lot of
It
twists and
kept-
turns.
It wasn't a straightforward, easy to, yeah. Definitely not something I'd go recommending to everyone, but
well, let me ask you guys this.
a lot of effort went into this, I will say that.
Yeah, you know how Hollywood likes to do a lot of American adaptations. Do you think
You read my mind, Joe.
that could Hollywood pull it off, and two, would it be as good?
Well, if it didn't have subtitles.
Right, here,
Well, I'm saying make a completely American
Well,
adaptation.
that's what I
of
mean.
it, too,
You know,
yeah.
just take away the subtitles though and get it in English. Would
Yeah.
it? Would this be a home run?
that'd be an interesting exercise is to try to imagine an all-American cast and who you would cast in all the different roles.
Oh yeah, but I mean, the concept is solid. I think the
Yeah.
idea, how the plot twists hammer you, because that part I did like about this movie. But I when you said you wouldn't have trouble recommending somebody, yeah, because of the subtitles.
Yeah.
If it was in English, would you still have that same issue of who would you recommend it to?
I
Right.
don't think so.
For this particular movie, I think I'd rather have subtitles than dubbed over. But that's just
Yes.
Well, not
yes.
dubbed over. I just mean
Mhm.
like if they spoke
Yeah,
English.
So Dave, so since we're on the same page here,
Mhm.
do you think Hollywood could pull this off, or they would just screw it up?
Hollywood's a funny thing. I would like to think it wouldn't be that hard to do, but as you always point out, somebody in the back of the room's like, "Hey, this is what we should do, bloody brilliant,"
Yeah.
and then they just ruin everything.
Yeah. Yeah, you ask them what time it is, and they tell you how to make a watch.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. So I don't know. I mean, if Hollywood wouldn't screw it up like they do a lot of movies, then yeah, I think this would be good in English with the American actors. Because I mean, you could do it. It's not that big a concept to draw out.
Right.
The whole underground bunker part is what makes it one part of it that makes it really, really unique to other movies.
Right.
Like well, I don't know. That Jodie Foster was in a movie called Safe Room back in the day. It's an older movie.
Okay.
Similar concept. The house has a safe room. They lock themselves in. The bad guys try to get in because they're robbing the house, and people see they're on video, and they know that the family saw them. And so plot twists and turns like that. This is very similar with that underground bunker, but good story. It let you have a lot of room to develop a plot
Yes.
and to have plot twists.
And not like absurd, just eye rolling.
Yeah, not obvious ones. It's this is a new take on having a plot twist like that, especially with the husband down there. I never saw the old maid's husband being down there.
No.
I was just like, what is she going after in the basement? And then I'm like, dang.
I thought she was gonna go down there and like hang herself or something. I didn't know what was gonna happen.
I thought she had
Yeah.
like a weapon down there, and
Yeah.
she's like, I'm gonna kill all these fools for
Yeah.
getting me out of here.
Or I figured like she had stolen a bunch of money from him or something like
Something,
that. Yeah, and like that was her safety locker or something. She
Yeah.
would
Her
go down and
husband
just
was
get her.
such a little creepy guy. That was
Yeah.
Yes.
wow.
He played
He's like
that
a
to
Gollum
the T.
character living down there.
Yeah.
He went crazy. The whole banging his head off to set the
Yeah.
light off.
Pretty weird for the husband, the main husband of the family, to move in. That was weird. At the very end. Why did he do that? Because he was wanted for murder, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
That he took
So that's the
on.
only way he could live.
He took on that role.
Yep. Isn't that funny how somebody had to live down there, I guess?
Yeah.
Weird.
Because he runs away from the house after stabbing a guy to death, and
Yeah.
the news anchors are like, he just disappeared. But then you see that he actually
Yeah.
ran back into the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What,
Yeah.
you guys want to guess the budget? Or do you know it already?
I have no
Have-
idea.
Yeah, I have no idea. 25 million.
I was thinking 20 million.
15.5.
Really? I'm
Made,
impressed.
made 200.
Well, the actors probably aren't that big a name, and
Made-
a lot of it was CGI.
Well, that's where I was going to make all the money, was going to CGI.
Yeah. How did it do in the box office?
263.
Really? Subtitles and all.
Yeah, that's worldwide. I don't know how much of that is in the U.S.
Huh.
English speaking.
Interesting.
So Justin, you brought up subtitle versus dubbed. I wondered the same thing. Do you think if it was dubbed, it would have taken away from this? It would have taken away from the story.
I hate dub movies. Gosh, they look dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather read for. Yeah. Squid Games was dubbed, and I
Oh, it drove me
didn't
crazy.
mind it, but
You sure?
yeah.
I started Squid Games. I just never went back to finish it.
It's-
It's not that I hated it. I just haven't had time to sit down and watch and pay attention to it.
Well, Dave mentioned that this is definitely gonna change, not necessarily change your pick, but give you a different
Avenue.
sort of angle to bounce off of from this one.
Yeah.
Guys, want to rate it up?
I'm ready.
Let's hear it.
You want me to go first then?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you might be a
Yeah, 'cause
little
I'm
on the low end. I think.
You think?
I'm kind of on the fence here. So
No, I'm not. I think this is a large.
Okay.
Well, okay. So I'm torn between overflowing, medium, and large. Large because, and you guys could probably help me, and I'll probably change my answer after I hear your stuff. But this is what I'm going to say. The subtitles would hurt me from recommending on. That's why I was curious when you mentioned that, Joe. It'd be hard to recommend to somebody else unless they were really like us, like into movies and
Yeah.
willing to sit through 2 hours of reading subtitles. But man, the plot was just, and the twists and turns was just amazing. So I can see why this got Best Picture. I can also see why this would be a hard movie to have any advancement past where it is, because you got to be willing to sit and read subtitles.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of torn. Overflowing, medium, large, in that area. So I'm going to wait, and I'll make a final decision after I hear your arguments.
Joe? You
Well,
got your-
Dave, you literally was no help on my decision.
Yeah, there you go, Joe.
Because
You're in the same bucket?
yes,
Medium.
I'm in the exact same spot, and this
Yeah.
is where I was last night. I'm literally torn between overflow, medium, and large for the
Yeah.
exact same reasons, and so Dave was absolutely no help in my
You're welcome.
decision.
I'm here to serve.
So Justin,
Justin, it comes down to you on your own movie.
well, I think it is safe to say you have redeemed yourself.
Okay.
Definitely not a pig.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
No question. Then.
greatly pulled yourself out of the pit called pig.
Out of the mud.
Yes,
The
and
slop.
you have us in a different situation that it's hard to decide, but for the right but it's a good tough spot, if that's possible. So convince us to make a decision
I
here.
found this movie difficult to watch in some ways. That just I don't know, like the toilet overflowing and the overflowing apartment. They really lean into some of the
Oh, yeah.
gritty aspects. The guy getting hit in the head with a rock. I mean, this is not a pretty movie.
Well, the overflowing toilet where they climb up there and hold the lid down and just sets on and just takes it.
Oh, I mean,
Just got to take it. You know that's got to, I mean, I've worked in some sewer, and holy cow, that's nasty.
Yeah.
so not the most pleasant visuals all the time in this movie, but like you said, I mean, the twists and turns and the effort that went into writing this story and the way they shot it. Overall, I came in knowing absolutely nothing, came out with solid large to overflowing large for me.
Wow.
So my final score, overflowing large, I think. Not like totally overflowing, but just slightly more than a large for me.
Okay, so let me pose this question, you guys, and Dave, just a heads up, I don't think this is going to help either of our decisions, but with the whole toilet scene and all that, do we enjoy this movie because it's not a Hollywood watered down nonsense kind of movie?
I would say yes, because of the plot twist and the uniqueness of the storyline.
Because Hollywood would have really either one, watered it down,
Yeah.
or two, with scenes with the toilet, they would have made some kind of comical value, like the toilet would have really overflowed. I
Yeah.
mean, it would have like covered the person looking at the toilet, trying to stop the toilet from surging. I mean, they would have tried to be over the top on it. So that's what I'm wondering. Is it because it's not watered down, or because
I think
Hollywood
they
didn't
did
touch it?
Pretty good job of creating like two totally different planets almost, of these very wealthy people and then these people that are literally living under the street level,
Yeah.
and like the images. And I thought it was a pretty smart little device where this really rich guy, he like doesn't like the smell of poorer people basically.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I don't like it. And he mentions that the dad kind of smells funny or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
they
people.
use
Emulates
that-
through the car.
Use that as a device to like ratchet up the tension to where it eventually snaps. I thought that was pretty unique way to go about a storyline like that.
Yeah, he said the people on the subway have a smell.
Yeah. Well, and I'm still kind of torn. Like, what's the deal with the guy peeing outside their apartment all the time? Is that
Yeah.
just visual? Say, oh, they do live in the slums. People pee out, right
Maybe
in
it's
their
right down the
doorstep.
street from a little bar or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I just
A dark alley where everyone always goes to pee.
And it's so weird because they're like, yeah, that college kid has some real spunk about him.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
And then the son tries to do the same thing.
Tries to
later.
emulate it.
Doesn't go so well.
Yeah, a lot of that, I think I took kind of creative freedom on, as far as a lot of stuff went on, like peeing in the alley and stuff like that. I just kind of chalked it up to Korean society
Yeah.
being, the way their society works with their class system and all that. Not being familiar with how their culture, society works fully. I think I took a lot of freedoms on that and just chalked it up to being that, not being well educated in that area.
Yeah.
So
in some ways, like the gullibility of the wife and a couple other little things that I thought were a little unrealistic, definitely takes it down. Almost takes it down to a regular large for me. But
Overflowing medium for me. Then you talked me into it, Justin.
yeah,
Because I agree. Those things are the non-palatability of that is
yeah,
hard.
they took some swings there with some of that stuff. It takes a little bit off for me, but I'm still a solid large. That's where I'm at.
Okay, well, I think,
It all comes down to you, Joe.
yeah, and it's one of those. I'm getting ready to make the decision, and then I'm going. Do you really want to lock yourself into that?
It's tough. It's a tough movie to figure out.
Yeah,
To figure out how you feel about it.
yes,
for me.
yeah. It's a very entertaining film,
Yeah.
but it's just so hard to nail yourself into a spot. So I think I'm just going to err.
Oh, Joe.
I don't even know if I want to say that.
We'll get back to you next week.
Yeah, yeah, and I guarantee you it won't even be
No,
anywhere
you
close.
gotta do it. Let's
Okay,
go.
so I'm just
pull
gonna,
the trigger.
Okay,
here.
so I'm going to err on the side of caution, and Justin, please do
Yeah.
not take this as dig. This is a very
No,
hard decision
That's
for me.
all right.
An overflowing medium.
Totally fair.
Yeah.
The
And-
subtitle, the part where you can't. It's really hard to recommend it to someone else because the subtitles is the ringer for me. That's what sealed the deal to keep it out of a large.
Yeah.
Is that there's only a few people that I know that could say, "Hey, you should really watch this,"
Right.
even though, and that's what bothers me. Best Picture award, subtitles, man, come on.
But I think if they would have dubbed it, it would have fell down the
Yeah,
scale.
oh yeah, it had to be. It has to be done in English.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know what else it went up against that year, but
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's still the plot and the storyline, amazing.
Yes. Yes.
very creative.
Good job, Justin. I'm on board. Good
Creative
job.
but difficult film. At the
Yes.
same time.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. But and Justin, again, you have fully redeemed yourself after Pig. Now Dave may not agree with that statement, but
no, yeah. I like this movie. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I feel like I'm underrating it with an overflowing medium, but
well, see that.
but it's just those little things.
Yeah, it just this is and one of the more interesting ones. It's hard for us because some movies, well, Pig, for example, there was the only issue we had was how many burnt popcorns can we put on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, yeah.
How does this change your thoughts on your pick, Dave, at all?
Not at all.
Okay.
Are you guys ready?
Yep.
Let me make sure it's still available.
Do we get some choices or?
Nope.
All right.
Big Chill Part 2, here we come.
No, come on now.
Oh, what is it called? The Big Thaw then?
Close, actually. You know what? This may not be.
Well, let's see.
Slapshot, baby, 1977. Let's do this. Paul Newman.
Okay.
Hold on, let me see. I might. Let me check my.
Oh, it's Amazon Prime.
Now wait. I'm seeing premium subscription, which means you have.
Come
So
on.
Hold. Just calm down. Hold on. Let me look online. Let me do a little more research before you get all tore up over there.
Well, while we got some downtime, other things that were up for Best Picture: Ford versus Ferrari that year,
Oh, how did Ford versus Ferrari not win that?
The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Well, I can understand how it beat Joker, and I love Joker.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood's pretty good.
Yeah, definitely.
Man, I tell you what. Last week when I looked at this was available.
If The Irishman wasn't 3 hours, that'd be one of my picks. Unfortunately.
3 hours, really?
Hey, I found it. It's on Stars.
Okay. All right.
So
Slapshot, 1977, Paul Newman.
Slapshot. All right. Episode 67 next week. Slapshot.
And then I'll pick a good one.
Oh. This is mop bucket overflowing material, boys.
We might have to do
Have either of you seen it?
a new category for this one.
Now, here's going to be the hard part. It is older. It is dated. But
Uh-huh.
The movie, the comedy,
Is this a hockey movie?
Yep.
All right. Cool.
it's the real deal.
And when you say it's old and dated, like the jokes are dated, or like the jokes are
Just, it's an old movie. It's in the 70s. Cars are old. Stage is old.
so's Animal House.
Yeah, Animal House, yeah. All right. I like it.
Here you go, Joe. Just that thing I mentioned about CGI, the house. Kind of cool.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Show that today.
Yeah, let me see. What are we talking about?
Oh, the house in Parasite was just
Oh, wow.
half of it was
Huh.
CGI.
That is crazy. Why wouldn't you just build it? It doesn't seem that complicated.
Because it's a
Save
whole
some
lot.
money.
Yeah, it's a whole lot cheaper to throw some walls with some blue paper on them.
Oh, boy.
All right. Well, that about does it.
Okay. Well, next week, no more messing around with subtitles and crap like
Yeah.
that. We're going old school, baby. 1977 Slapshot, Paul Newman.
Ooh.
All English.
I know, yeah.
All right.
No subtitles needed.
And it'll make us appreciate the foreign films more.
Joseph, how could you?
Well, okay, so we've been sitting here singing praise to Justin. Somebody's got to catch it.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the Howard the Duck hit, so I'm getting my blows in while I can.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah. All right. Well, Justin.
I'll pass it to Joe on this one. Take us home.
All right, so for all of our news, reviews, shenanigans, nonsense, all that fun stuff, be sure to check out our website at beentherewatchthat.com. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast, Been There, Watch That. We're on all the major platforms, and all of our episodes are hosted by Anchor.fm. And be sure to follow us on social media at BTWTPod, and leave us a 5-star review, and send us your recommendations on movies, and we'll add it to our list, and we might pick yours for a future episode.
You've Got Mail was our last fan pick. We went with and
Yeah.
pretty solid
Good choice.
romantic comedies.
It survived.
Yep.
So that I think we covered everything we on this episode, gentlemen. So
right.
very good pick,
Oh, wait.
Justin.
Cena's rating we didn't cover.
She ranked it a solid large.
Wow.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh my.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. The plot twist, what got her? She said she couldn't. Her only complaints is the same issues with us, with the subtitle issue. But
Yeah.
other than that, she said very solid movie. She said absolute large, no questions asked.
Good deal.
Gotcha. Awesome. All right. Well, we've been
There.
and watch that. There we go. We'll be back next week for Slapshot 1977. Join us.